Yeah. So what I would say to anybody, and this is for people who haven't been in, and if you're thinking about going in, one
Mm,
thing I'll never do, I'll never discourage somebody from entering the service.
right.
I'm not going to tell you it's the greatest thing in the world, but it's definitely not the worst.
For sure.
It's definitely not a horrible option. It's
Hmm.
actually a good choice
Hmm.
because you gotta. One thing I tell young people, and you talk to young people all the time too. When you're 18, 4 years out of the rest of your life, it seemed like a long time,
It
bro,
ain't
but
no
it's not.
time. It ain't no time.
It's not.
It ain't no time. Boy, that's a weekend. And it
Mm,
sounds
That's
crazy
a,
to say that. Man,
it's
that
nothing,
sounds
bro.
crazy. So
It's
you went in. Let me kind of get it in. So you said four is nothing. You did how many years in the Navy? And you was active, right? Or were you reserved?
I was active.
Okay.
I did about two.
Okay, two. No,
so
that's
so
cool.
my military career went a little bit different because I was one of them ones. I was one of them ones.
Yeah.
I always had to be in some bullshit. And it's
Okay.
never cool to be like that. I can romanticize my stories and make it seem like it was cool because I could
Yeah.
tell a story good. But at the
Oh,
bottom line, I
mhm.
did a lot of things that I wasn't supposed to do. And you don't have to do. You don't gotta go down the route that I went in. I was a rebellious person. Like, you know
Right.
what I'm saying? And I was rebellious in ways that wasn't even to my benefit. It was just like I would do things in the moment that had drastic ramifications to it. But at the time, I was so bold, like I had to not be scared of no ramifications. Like I don't give a damn what they finna do. They ain't finna kill me. That was my mentality. If they wasn't finna kill me, what was the big deal? That's never a way to be.
Damn.
There's so many things that can happen to you outside of death that are just annoying that you don't have to expose yourself to. And
Right.
that's a life lesson you could take. Whatever decision that you make, you got to understand it's not that the fact that you ain't finna die, it's the fact that you're not going to die. What that
Mm.
means is there's going to be a tomorrow and you got to deal with that shit. So whatever you do today, you
Yeah.
got to deal with
Right.
tomorrow.
Right.
So the fact that if you lean on the fact, well, they ain't gonna kill me, that's exactly the thing. They're not gonna kill you. So
Mm.
tomorrow you got to answer for this shit you did today, because they're not getting
Mm.
ready to kill you.
Yeah, you
So
might want to be
you
dead
got to
after
face,
the shit you
yeah,
gotta
you
deal
might,
with.
you might, you know what I'm saying. So you got to face, and
Mm.
some of the most bullshit you go through is shit that you created yourself.
That's a fact. So that's
So
a good tip of the information. So what I'm gathering, let me sure I can bring it for the audience. If you choose to go into the service, leave the rebellious spirit at home because you're there for a reason, and you're not there to test the limits because you could test the limits and they ain't gonna kill you. You're just gonna have to deal with the BS every day. That's even if
and
they
shit,
put
what
you
you
out,
got to
right? That's even if they.
the number one thing I need people to realize when you go into that military, when they get to talking to you crazy and you don't understand why they're telling you and they're talking to you sideways, before you got to that, you signed so many things and put your hand up and agreed to so much shit.
You don't even know what you
You
agreed
had
to.
every opportunity to turn away, but you did not.
Whew.
Once you make all those agreements, when they talking to you crazy, is because they know you put your hand up and you repeat it after that motherfucker told you to repeat after
Repeat
them.
after me. I
And
solemnly swear
once you solemnly swear to some
to
shit,
uphold and defend. Oh, I don't know what it is verbatim. I'm just making it up.
yeah, I promise to support and
Defend
uphold my country's Navy combat team with honor,
constitutions.
courage, and commitment. When you say that, don't talk about how they talking to you. You said they could talk to you like that.
Ooh
Basically, in a
wee.
nutshell.
Ooh
You told them
wee.
people they could talk to you like that.
Can I spin this too? Since
Yeah.
does it feel good to dish it out too? Because at some point, even though you only did 2 years and you said you was in the PFC rank, you still was in a position of authority because you was dealing with paperwork. So
Yeah.
the
So
military does kind of give it back to you when you're like, hey, I told you to put your signature in this block, or I told you to put that folder over there. And you're talking to anybody personnel because you're just You're the clerk working. You just talking to him.
Do you have the statistics on whites killing whites in a year, or Chinese killing Chinese?
Whites and the Chinese aren't the ones cramming the prison system.
They also weren't the ones brought over here like property.
Hundreds of years ago. And what does that have to do with anything that we're talking about?
You don't find it interesting that the people brought over here in chains are still in chains?
No, I don't. Okay? The slavery thing is a fucking cop-out. It happened. Get over it. It ain't my job to make sense of it. It's my job. It's our job to get the bad people off the street. Black, white, whatever color.
Systematic violence or terror aimed at one group of people, and you just said get over it. Would you say that about the Holocaust?
Or women's rights?
I gotta have the power to be positive in a negative situation.
Every obstacle he will power through because there's real power within willpower. It strengthened him and it will power you. This is willpower's proof that there is no wall that can block him on his path. When they told him can't, he ran a 4.38 in the 40-yard dash.
Fastest 40-yard dash time by a linebacker. Shaquem Griffin is dominating. Hello.
When you can make anything, make a difference. Shaquem Griffin is the definition.
I'm not.
You want to spit? Let's get it in. I'm like Payne veteran, Brad better than Black Edison, more evidence, flow heaven sent, no settling, full stretching in, war veteran. I steps through 2 arms swinging. George Jefferson. 30 days. It's a shock to your system being back amongst people. So this next piece is called Go There, and this is the 3 weeks after I come home from doing 8 years. I remember struggling, really struggling. You see, dealing with the return to society from incarceration is complicated. I even had difficulty engaging in casual conversation. I used to hear there was reluctance in my eyes, and I gave off a vibe of frustration. See, anxiety weighed heavy. I dealt with it often. Institutionalization, the enemy, the fight against it, exhaustion. You gotta keep in mind, I was gone before Twitter and Instagram, back when Mike was alive and Bush was in office. Okay. Daniel Ocean, been through desperate times and desperate measures with desert weapons. My average time hitting a lick is 2 minutes and 7 seconds. Been through desperate times and desperate measures with all desert weapons. My average time hitting a lick is 2 minutes and 7 seconds. Got a trunk, got jumper cables, a spare tire, and hella weapons. The pops even touching the kids like 7 heavens.
Do you all think you can be fair and impartial, regardless of the consequences?
The real question, my brother, is will you go all the way with a consequence if we do?
Hey, you're watching C.O.B. Make sure that you follow, like, and subscribe.